The reason why we're here dealing with the United Nations more, and I was actually about the Declaration. We got some of those still left over there, I think.
Yes.
There's a few more. Okay. These are the Declaration proclamations that went before the United Nations. Okay. And it also lets you know some of the necessities. Now, it's important that you understand about the United Nations Charter. Okay, it's important that you know the history of the United Nations. Had it not been for Noble Drew Ali, there wouldn't be a United Nations. Okay, how many of you know that Noble Drew Ali went to the Pan American Conference? Okay, that later turned out to be what is now known as the United Nations. Okay, he went to the Pan American Conference, come back, and let everybody know, hey, we got a mandate, because we actually own us. We own the Americas. He went back to the ancient, who our ancient forefathers were, long before, we the one that brought the so-called, quote-unquote, Indians here.
That's right.
Cherokees, the Apaches, and all that. And now, we brought them here too. Okay? So when it comes down to knowing your history, knowing your heritage, it's key, because under the UN Charter, you must know your descendant lineage.
That's right.
Okay, you must know who your forefathers were. Negroes ain't got no forefathers. Black people ain't got no heritage, because they was all made right here in the United States. Okay, so they ain't got no history. But we do. Okay, but you've got to accept your free national name. You've got to accept the harmony of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and all that right. Okay? So today, like I said, we are going to be featuring the United Nations. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and we've got a lot of divine ministers here to be speaking from different levels. And I want to welcome everyone again. And we're going to, we also got a very powerful, we got a wedding to do. Obligation ceremony a little later on. It'll be the first time we had a national wedding on a national conference. So this is also historical. Okay? And oh yeah, by the way, being as you'll find out, as you'll see, this particular marriage, yeah, it's real, it's legitimate. Okay, and because being a government. Remember I just told you earlier that slaves ain't got no marriage laws? And they giant, jumping the broom, tying knots and stuff. Okay, so, but you'll see the difference, all right? So just bear with it. The main thing is that I want to welcome everyone. And what I would like to do, because we got several ministers to come before you at the podium. And according to our program schedule, what we'll be doing, I'll be more or less your MC for the day. But most of the program, we're going to have it in two parts. We'll go like we're doing now to around about 3 o'clock or so, then we'll take a break for about a half hour or so and mingle the things, and then we'll go into the second half. And in the second half, we'll have the obligation also. But the main thing is that we got a lot of ground to cover dealing with the United Nations and us as a people. So so don't be surprised at some things you hear, because some of the speakers got history dealing with different organizations, different fraternal orders. Oh, let me tell you about that too. Okay, no. Okay, anything that enslaved you cannot also free you. Okay. Now I don't know how many. If you like me, you done come through them fraternal order. Thought you was a Mason, and you come through the church and Christian Lord and all that. You thought you sorority. You joined the different groups, didn't you? Come on now. Because you didn't know no better. And you took them oaths, right? Committed yourself to them oaths. Not realize that oaths don't count if you don't know who you are. Somebody tricked you because you was a slave, and they made you think you was a free person, and you ain't got nowhere yet. Show me an African descendant Mason that's free? Just one, please. And people want to talk about, no withdrawal either, Mason. He got a fez on. This is your free national headdress. Don't get it twisted. Why would he bring you something to enslave you again and call himself a prophet? There's got to be something about that fez that ain't enslaving you. Because the very people that you see wearing it, they call themselves Masons, you know. They got the tassel. They better have it tied down with something. They better not do a 360 like this one, okay? Okay? But the thing about it is, this is your own divine headdress. It's like the turban. The turban ain't nothing but a halo. You know how angels with halo, right? So why you get it twisted when it come down and you put your turban on? It's a halo. Where do you think they got the idea halo from? Where do you think they got the word angel from? Ain't but two places on the planet, one place on the planet, you can get two names. One is the prophet, the other is an angel. And both of them got to come out of Egypt.
Wow.
That's the only place you can get either one of them. Okay? You cannot get the angel, the little pale-skinned pink baby with wings on his back. No. That's not it. Okay? And prophet don't have no eye in it. You know, the money maker. Yeah. Okay? So we are going to utilize today, and we got several documents to deal with. In fact, before we go into the line call on some of the ministers, I want to ask the Grand National Secretary to read this thing that went to the United Nations to deal with the member state. Just a little brief level. But I want you to become familiar with it so before we go into that aspect of it. Because today, you've got to realize that we are a people. We're a nation of people. One government under one free national name, this is us. Okay, that's how important it is. Because when you get out here today, we're going to be free when we get out here today. Okay? All right. So, Grand Secretary of State, if you don't mind. Okay. Okay.
Islam. There is no God but the great God, the Moorish American Government, continental American territories, the Grand Seal, the Moorish American flag, the Grand Emblem. To members of the United Nations, addressed to all national embassies secured in New York and Washington, D.C. area. Greetings of peace, honorable nation and government. Through your noble embassy, kindly find enclosed the nation's copy of the Declaration Proclamation of the Moorish American status and jurisdiction. After 8 years of internal government preparation, the issuance of this great historical document has now been resubmitted to the United Nations for the Moorish Americans membership application and acceptance through the Secretary General. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Our forefathers from the Holy Lands of Canaan and the founders of the kingdoms of Tunis, Tripoli, Algeria, Morocco, Nigeria, etc. Every nation has suffered slavery for not honoring the creed and principles of their forefathers. Today, there are over 60 million Moorish Americans here in the United States whom have suffered over 5 centuries of denationalized slavery under the slave labels of Negroes, blacks, and colored people. Denationalization is an international crime to forcibly remove any nation or human national away from the families of nations. Through the United Nations Charter, Moorish Americans are now expressing our human rights to be free, sovereign, and indigenous nations of people while bearing one free national descent name. As the 5-pointed open pentagram of our national flag expresses our principles, our love truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Moorish Americans do not have enemies nor harbor hatred against any recognized government. We are a peace-loving state and are now taking our rightful place in the affairs of men through linking ourselves with you and other nations. We are looking forward to assisting you to restore our human, subhanAllah. We are now looking forward to assisting you to restore harmony upon the earth land. Thank you. Akhenaten Perth and Maruti to Common Bay. Grand National Chairman, Divine Minister. The Moorish American Government of the Americas. Moorish American Consulate Headquarters. P.O. Box 1001, Cambridge, Virginia. 23944-1001. www.moorishamericangovernment.land. Phone 434-676-1555 or 434-676-1272. Office and fax. Islam.
So, thank you. So, one of the things, and extending much honor to Grand National Secretary, that we have to bring to your attention is the fact that when I was speaking about that 1492, what a lot of people don't realize that, do you know that about 95% of all the Africans that was caught and enslaved during the West African slave trade, did you know that they were Muslims? They was Islamic.
That's right.
Okay, that's why Islam was forbidden here in the United States. And it stayed that way until the advent of Nabi Ali.
That's right.
You better not get off a ship and bring a Quran up in here.
That's right.
And coming from Africa, from anywhere in the East, they watch it. They want to make sure you didn't make no salat, praying and no, none of that. They didn't play that. Okay? And so therefore, that's what we call slave breaking. Remember I tell you about the slave breaking island?
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the slave breaking phenomena here in the West. They had to get the Islam broke out of you. They had to get the peace broke out of you. The love broke out of you. And that's what, if you recall the record, right, 1779, well, we can go a bit further than that. But the thing about it is that the first time we even heard about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Bible, you were slaves. Okay? I know you may not like it, but that's history. That's what was going on. Where were you the first time you heard about Donald Trump? Did I do that? Okay, George Washington and them. Okay? Where were you the first time you heard about Masonry? Where were you? First time you heard about joining the fraternal orders when you were in school, colleges, the churches and things. Remember that? All right, being in sororities and things. You remember that? Your sisters? First time you seen the Eastern Star, did you ask the question about why was the star upside down? The star standing on his head? No, because you better not ask. That means you don't want to be a part of this. You're supposed to be upside down on your head. How else you think somebody gonna get between your legs? I'll leave that alone. Anyway, we got a mighty mission to deal with, and I want to extend much honor to the Moorish Consulate. Being a government, we don't have temples as organizations. I mean, we can own them. That's not a problem. We do have many organizations. One government can own millions of organizations, but not one organization can own the government. Okay. So we want to extend much honor to, we do have embassies and consulates all over the place, okay? Embassies are always a representation of a government or a country or nation that's also in foreign soil. That's why they call them embassies, okay? So if we to be anywhere else other than the right here, the Americas, then it would be a foreign soil. You know, if we had a Moorish representation over in Quebec, okay, let's just say, you know, what else? You know, just any part of Europe you want to, or Africa, or China, Japan, there would be an embassy. But consulates, they're not only on foreign soil, but also native land. Okay, consulates. So we have consulates all over the place. And here in Baltimore, I want to extend much honor to Malik and his whole staff for the great work you're doing. That's why we're here. So this is the Moorish American Consulate here. And they've been doing a tremendous job. And believe me, more, when it comes to having the truth and being a Moorish Americanized, it ain't easy.
That's right.
Our people fight you just as long as land lasts and a few miles of water. Because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to be the truth. They don't want to hear that. So when you see one of the ministers, you know, nah. So what I want to do with the time, I want to bring to the as our first speaker, our host, Malik, and the consulate here in Baltimore. And Mo, we thank you so much for the great work you're doing. Islam.